संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। My hearty namaskars to all of you. It's a great pleasure that BSCO and BHAS, with the cooperation of the Geeta Mandir here, has organized a session. First we had a yoga demonstration, which is the physical part of yoga. The first 4 steps of yoga, yama, niyama, asana, which we did, and a little bit of pranayama. So we have almost covered half our journey. But the important part of yoga begins from step number 5, which is known as pratyahara, which leads to dharana, then dhyana, and then of course the goal of yoga, that is samadhi. Now the question is, these are all theoretical aspects of Patanjali's yoga, and we commonly use a word which is known as meditation. You ask anyone, they say we are practicing meditation. We are trying to practice meditation. Strictly speaking, it is dhyana, which is next only in order to samadhi, which is a very high state. So when we say we practice meditation and also try to find out how important it is in our daily life, that is very important. To know what meditation is one thing. To understand what meditation is one thing. But to make it applicable or use it in our daily life, it is another thing, totally different. So when we say the importance of meditation in our daily life, it is like asking a question, how important is food and air, the air that we breathe? So how important is meditation is in our day-to-day life? It is like asking how important is food and air which we consume for the survival of our body. Meditation is as important as air and food is to the body, for the mind. So the mind, for its survival, just to survive, it is extremely important for our mental health and also to lead a comparatively happy life. To lead a comparatively happy life, meditation and the other steps which I mentioned just now, they are as important as asana, pranayama, and the first 2 steps, yama and niyama. I'll discuss about that later, but let us now focus on what meditation really is and what it really does in our day-to-day life. Because if it does not fulfill this purpose, যদি আমরা না জানি যে মেডিটেশন করে আমাদের জীবনে কি হবে, what will we gain? Because we don't do anything without a purpose. কোনো উদ্দেশ্য না থাকলে we don't practice meditation. We will not be encouraged or we will not be motivated to practice meditation. Just because somebody says we are not going to practice meditation. We have to understand it is as important. Nobody asks you to take food and breathe. We do it because we have to survive. But we don't understand that for the mind to be healthy, some kind of meditation has to be done, consciously or unconsciously. If we don't do it, then our life will be very miserable. So much importance, just like not taking food and not breathing. Can you imagine a body surviving without these two? So for survival or for mere happiness or peace in life, meditation, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and of course if we are lucky enough, samadhi. These are the 4 steps Patanjali says. Patanjali was the founder of the real yoga. He says the 4 steps are as important as the first 4. The first 4 are for the body, but also it helps us to improve our mental health. There is a very deep connection between our mind and our body. In fact, Bhagavan Buddha, he says, as you think, so you become. We are what our thoughts are. We give less importance because we see the effect of asanas, pranayama on the body, on our health, our diet, what we eat. So we are so conscious. But when it comes to the mind, when it comes to many problems of the mind like anxiety, worry, depression, lack of any enthusiasm to do some work, lack of concentration, which is a serious problem with our children. So difficult for, even if you know asana, even if you know pranayama, the body may be steady, but the mind, the restless mind can make the body very, very restless. The mind-body connection is very important. So meditation is required even for the healthy, for a healthy body. If somebody says, I will do asanas, I will do pranayama, and everything will be fine in my life. Yes, you may have a good health. But our mental states will lead to psychosomatic diseases. Most of our diseases are induced by our wrong thinking. Take diabetes, take any disease for example. Of course, there are diseases of the body, but most of the diseases are not just of the body. They are of the mind, and mind creates a situation when the body suffers, even if there is no apparent cause. We are taking very good food, very nutritious food, we are diet conscious, we are doing exercises, pranayama, everything we are fine, we are doing well. But our mind is always disturbed, full of worry, full of anxiety, not able to concentrate. Then even with a successful or with a healthy body, we will not be able to lead a happy life. So the importance of meditation in our daily life is just as the importance of food and air is to the body. We cannot survive. In fact, most of our unhappiness, misery is because of the misery that we suffer because of wrong thinking. So meditation actually helps you, helps everyone to systematically find out, just as yoga does for the body, the steps in meditation or the effort or the attempt, even attempt. Nobody can say that I can successfully meditate very easily. No, it is a very difficult task. They say dhyana is so difficult. It is the 7th stage. Can you imagine? There are 2 stages before that, pratyahara and dharana. What students normally mean by concentration, which will help them to study the subject with less effort, less stress, very quickly. Most of the successful students, they have a good dharana. They may not be able to meditate, but they have a very good dharana shakti. The capacity to focus on one subject, say mathematics, physics, any subject which our children are struggling. If yoga is practiced, I mean the higher yoga, the attempt is made even to meditate. Not dhyana, but pratyahara and dharana, these are the two steps. If they are practiced by our students from a young age, or our children from a very young age, then the effort that they need to even focus on a simple thing like the subjects that they study. I am repeating it, it's a very simple thing. If one practices pratyahara and dharana, to spend less time in understanding and studying a subject. If a student requires 4 hours to study something, with practice of meditation or attempting to practice meditation, he can do it in 1 hour. He is taking 4 hours to study a subject which should take him 1 hour or less. Why? Because the mind is not focused. Because he cannot do pratyahara. Nobody teaches him. We teach very good exercises and all, we should be fit, we control the diet, we don't want the children to fall ill. But how many parents or how many seniors take equal care of training of the mind? In fact, Swami Vivekananda once was asked, suppose you had your education again, suppose you go back to school, then what type of education you would suggest? He said, the education unfortunately given to me, which is the same system we are following, it is not an education system, it is an examination system. To be very frank, we are not educated. It looks rather surprising that what we are getting is not education, it's just an examination system. So the whole focus is how to get good marks, good grades, get some admission. So Swami Vivekananda said, unfortunately, the education system which he studied long ago, 100 years ago, it has not changed. It's almost the same. He says, unfortunately, I was admitted to a system which is mere examination system. It's not an education. The real education is, and if I get a chance, if I go back to class 1 and if I had a choice to do my schooling once again, this is Swami Vivekananda who passed the university from Presidency College. He was a graduate of Presidency College, very prestigious college of Kolkata. He says that if I get a chance to go to school again as a child, I would change the whole system. I would first teach the child or teach myself when I am very young the secret of concentration, the secret of dharana, the secret of pratyahara. And once I get that, once I have a concentrated mind, then my life becomes very, very easy, peaceful, less tension, full of peace. Because I will take less time to study the subjects which I am taking so much time now. And this Swami Vivekananda is telling us, not an ordinary person. A yogi who was an expert in meditation is telling us that he suffered in his whole life, he suffered because his parents or the education system did not encourage development of concentration of mind. He said, if I had developed concentration of mind when I was a child, I would have mastered my subject very easily. I would not have to stay late at night. In fact, you know how he struggled. Whole nights he would sit to read and to memorize because he was just asked to appear for an examination system. He could not change the system. He was a victim of the system. So he said, if I get a chance, if I get an opportunity to re-educate myself, I would rather train myself or I would like my parents, my teachers to give me some time to get trained in the art of meditation or concentration. Meditation is a very high state. Let us come to it later. But at least my parents, I expect my parents, they would be doing, this is what Swami Vivekananda said, I would expect them to focus more attention when I am a child, to teach me concentration, because with that concentrated mind I can easily pass my exams, my schooling, my college, everything, all the effort that I have to undergo, the stress, the strain of exams would have become very easy. So he said, I wish I had got that kind of education, but unfortunately he did not have, and none of the children who studied under the British system, because they introduced the examination system, it was not so in our Gurukula. In Gurukula, the first thing the Guru did, Acharya did, was to train the child in meditation and concentration. He was given the Gayatri Mantra. Why? Not because it is a ritual, not because we are Hindus. There is nothing Hindu about Gayatri Mantra. It is a prayer to the Sun God, the light of knowledge, that, O Lord, please improve my concentration, improve my buddhi, improve my dhi, dhiyo yona prachodayata. We repeat because Gayatri Mantra is a Hindu prayer, so we do it. But why do we do it? Why does the child have to do it at the age of 6? Between 6 and 8, he should be given Gayatri. The reason is that his training in concentration should begin with his training in studying other subjects. They knew, the Gurukula, they knew that along with yoga, along with pranayama, asana, the children were asked to repeat this Gayatri Mantra, so that their concentration improves and their buddhi awakens, and with that buddhi they can master the subjects, all the subjects that the Guru will teach them. They also studied other subjects. They also studied astronomy, they studied the laws of physics, everything, though the names were different. They also studied secular sciences. They also studied economics. They studied all the subjects, commerce, trade, everything was taught. But 50% of the time, or half the effort of the Guru was, you first develop this concentration, and with the concentrated mind, your studies will become very easy. Now our parents are struggling. They don't know where the solution is. They just say that my child is so restless. Who made the child restless? The child was not born restless. The child was never born restless. You see the children, how nice when they are very young. They are so peaceful, so calm. It is we who make the child restless and then struggle to make him calm and tell him, now you have to sit down. But he will tell us, he will tell the parents, he will tell the teachers, you teach me how to sit quietly. You make me restless and you now complain that my child cannot sit quietly. So Vivekananda knew this problem and he faced that problem. So he said, if I had a choice and if I had my education all over again, I would not study the subjects before I learned concentration. So much of importance was given, and at the age of 6, because the child had just started going to school in those days. Between 6 and 8, if you do not initiate that child into the secret of concentration through the repetition of Gayatri prayer, which is one of the greatest prayers Hinduism has discovered, that if you want to be successful, if you want to do anything worthwhile in life, to succeed in life, to do well in life, you need concentration. So, to even ask the question whether meditation is important in our day-to-day life is just like asking, do I need food to survive? If we need food and air that we breathe to survive, then we need concentration, we need training of the mind, which is our only instrument. We negotiate the whole world. Whatever we do in the world, good or bad, It is because of the culture of the mind. So that is why our ancestors, our Vedic rishis, they gave so much importance. It's not because we are Hindus. In every culture, in every tradition, this cultivation of buddhi. Mind you, I am repeating again, this giving of Yagnopavita, which unfortunately our ritualistic priestcraft and the priestly society restricted only to boys, was given to both boys, girls of any caste. I don't know how it came to be monopolized by, because without Gayatri or without the idea behind Gayatri, the prayer to the sun god, who is the symbolic of knowledge, all knowledge is gained only by prayer and awakening of the higher faculty of the mind. If that higher faculty does not open, then the child will suffer all its life. When it grows up, they will all blame you that you did not teach me concentration. Our Vedic heritage, our gurus, our ancestors, our shastras, again and again they are telling, repeatedly telling the parents, telling the teachers, repeat the Gayatri. Not only boys, girls also were given in the Vedic age. Girls also require concentration. A girl child is as important as the boy child. Does she not need concentration? So, Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata, when the Gayatri Mantra was given at a very tender age, the significance was explained by the father to the child or the priest to the child, that my child, this is the mantra with which you can train your mind, focus your mind, concentrate your mind, pray to the light, the sun, who is symbolic of knowledge. Sun is a symbol of knowledge. It may be a symbolic prayer. It's not a ritual that we have to do Yagnopavita or Upanayana when we are 6 and feed lot of people, a big ceremony, and then the child asks what is the significance, especially if he's a scientific student or studied in some modern educational system. He'll say, why should I do these rituals? You are so outdated. Because we do not know the meaning, we do not even teach them that it is important, because if you don't understand the idea behind Gayatri Mantra, it is not just Yagnopavita that you have done and that you have fed so many people, just like you, all our rituals, the very, very important rituals of Hinduism have been reduced to a social function, including marriage. It's more important how many people you feed. You ask, my Yagnopavita, I fed 50 people, 100 people. But what's the use? The child needs to know what he has to do after getting the Gayatri Mantra. In the Gurukul, it was told very clearly that without concentration, your life will be miserable. You will be a burden not only to your family but to the whole society. Because you will not be capable, you will not understand things, you will not succeed, you will be a failure in life. It is as important, meditation is as important as this. So it is high time that we understand the significance of the rituals which Hinduism or the Vedic culture encourages. It is not because he will forget Hinduism or he will forget our culture, our customs. Not because of that. We have to revive the essence of Hinduism, especially the great science of yoga. It is a science, mind you, it is a science. Just as you study physics, chemistry, mathematics and any other science, it's a very rational approach. And if the child asks, why should I do it, we should be able to explain. This is why you should do it, because if you don't have concentration, it is you who will suffer. So it is absolutely essential. The importance cannot be underemphasized. It should be emphasized again and again. The first step, if you see in the asana, Sthiram Sukham Asanam, Patanjali says in yoga. What is asana? It is that posture which will enable you to sit peacefully, because a focused body helps you to focus your mind. It's not that by a steady posture your mind will be steady. It is not necessary, but it is helpful. So if you are always restless, that's why when young children come and ask how to meditate, small children, the parents force, they come and ask us, Maharaj, teach them meditation. I said, how can I teach meditation when the child has not been trained by the parents to sit quietly? I said, Pratyahara, Dharana and Dhyana, these are advanced steps. For that you need asana. What is asana? Just training the child to sit quietly, maybe in a chair, or maybe in Padmasana, which we saw now, or maybe Vajrasana. These asanas were designed not only for health, but to make the restless child steady. Sthiram Sukham Asana. That which gives sthirata to the body. That which gives some scope for the mind to be quiet. He can begin his meditation or training in meditation, dharana, concentration, after he learns to train his body. So the least we can do is not to teach complex asanas, but just teach them the simple asanas which were demonstrated today. Even if you can do one Padmasana is taught, that will be a great help. Why? Because the child knows the value of sitting quietly. Obviously, young children will be restless when they grow up. But then what have we done? It is the parents and the education system is to blame, not the children. Because if you don't teach, you are depriving the child, you are actually doing him great disservice. The greatest gift a father, mother is not the best private education anybody can give. If you have money, you can send him to the best school. But the greatest gift, if at all there is a gift a father and mother can give to the child, or a teacher can give to the child, it is to teach him the art of concentration, the art of steadiness. You have to tell him. You may have to repeat 100 times. It's bad to be restless. Because with that restless body, his mind will be restless, and then he will cause problem for himself, because he will not succeed. Without concentration, no student has succeeded. Every student, Swamiji says, the amount of success is directly proportional to the concentration that you have. And for that concentration, you need some training in meditation. Meditation comes afterwards, but you need training and approach, and first understand the importance of meditation in our life. As I said, it is as important as food and air which is needed for the body. So if this very question that should we teach is ridiculous, because if we don't teach, we are destroying. And if the children thank you after they grow up and after they become successful, if they find that the parents have taught him concentration and that has made them successful, they will say that is the greatest treasure my teachers and my parents have given me. No amount of money will give that. If money could be, money is responsible for somebody's education or concentration, no amount of money will help a child to concentrate. Concentrate cannot be bought. You can buy degrees, you can go to good colleges, you have plenty of money, you can send him to the best college in the world. But you can't spend money to teach him concentration. He has to learn himself, he has to be helped, told how to concentrate the mind, and for that you don't even need money. It is just Patanjali has given the whole yoga system is designed in such a way that the child is trained whether he wants to develop spiritually or whether he wants to succeed in life, have a good career. Concentration cannot be avoided. So the whole basis of education, the basis of all the Hindu culture That is why you see the Shiva's picture, Buddha's picture, you take Swami Vivekananda's picture here, Sri Ramakrishna's picture. Why are they sitting? Why are they sitting cross-legged and closing their eyes? Every day we see it, every day the child sees it. Do we encourage the child that can you imitate Shiva? Can you just sit? Even if you can't meditate, just sit like him. In Japan, they say, the Japanese children, they learn most of these things. They say, one picture is equivalent to 1,000 words. They say, just keep a picture of Buddha. That is how they teach children meditation. Wherever they go, they should see. From morning till evening, the children will see only meditating Buddha. And that makes them, automatically induces, they don't have to be taught meditation. They may start acting like Buddha and sitting as Swami Vivekananda did when he was small. The children used to play meditation. We give them a lot of games which make them restless. But have we ever told them, why don't 5, 6 children in the house sit and play meditation? That is, maybe it is a game. They will just imitate Shiva or imitate Buddha or imitate all our great yogis. So that way, even a simple imitation, especially young children, because I was told that what are the practical steps parents can do. In fact, it is so serious, so urgent that we later on we will repent, and then it is too late when the child grows up. That is why they said, perform this Gayatri at the age of 6. Don't think it is just a ritual, you have to do it just as we have so many rituals. If the child is not told the importance of sitting quietly, sitting in asana, whatever asana he can do comfortably, even Sukhasana, it is also an asana. Shavasana, as he said, even that is an asana, because whatever makes your body steady will help you ultimately in making the mind steady. And with the mind steady, you will have improved concentration. With improved concentration, there will be not only peace of mind, there will be less effort to succeed. Swamiji says, with that concentrated mind, I could learn my subjects very quickly. You know, when he was a small child, people would not believe. When he grew up, of course, he went and the librarian said, you are taking these huge volumes of encyclopedia. Are you really reading them? Because after one day you are returning them. He said, no, you ask me any question. It is recorded in his biography. He said, I have finished the whole book. How is it possible? A book which takes normally 5, 10, 15 days for us to even read, forget mastering. He could do it. Then the disciple asked, Sharat Chandra Chakravarti. He said, Swamiji, I don't know, there is some miracle, because we can't read a book so fast and remember everything. Maybe there is some power you have. He says, no, it's purely concentration. The more concentrated the mind, the better the memory. Sri Ramakrishna never went to school, never had the benefit of expensive education. He did not even go to the toll, Kamarpukur, if you see the school which he studied. He never attended school. But see his concentration. He heard anything he heard, whether it is Geeta, Bhagavad or the Vedas, he would remember everything. As a child, when the different baul singers came and sang these beautiful baul songs, he would just reproduce it. So that memory, that capacity to remember things comes from a concentrated mind. His mind was so concentrated because he knew this is the education I need. He said, Ami Chal Kola Vidya China. That education that will give me some living, which can help me to earn a living, I don't want. I want that education which will help me in my yoga, in my path to realize God. And for that I don't want to waste my time. I want to develop the art of concentration which will help me to reach the highest level of samadhi, which is described in yoga. So Swami Vivekananda once said, I went to the very prestigious college, Calcutta University Presidency College, but when I went to Sri Ramakrishna, I felt I am a fool compared to him. He never went to school, but he was a very original person, and he had all his education through the power of the mind which he had, through the power of yoga that he did, the higher yoga which led to samadhi. It was so casual for him. So he chose the concentration of mind, he chose to do pratyahara according to our tradition, to do dharana. Dharana means focusing. So these are all steps that lead to dhyana, and he became such an adept in dhyana that he even used to go into samadhi. So that mind which has touched samadhi, which has touched God, that is a very concentrated, focused mind which can remember things once they have heard. Even Vivekananda's wife, Swami Vivekananda's mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, she did not go to school. His father Vishwanath Datta, whose wife was Bhuvaneshwari Devi, Vishwanath Datta was a lawyer, but his mother, Swamiji, was once asked, who is responsible for your greatness? He said, it's my mother. He says, my mother he listened to the Mahabharata once and remember every verse. She never went to college, she never went to university. So Swamiji says, I got all the gift of meditation, of concentration from my mother. She was a living example. Maybe she didn't go to school, but that doesn't mean she could remember everything that she heard. That wonderful gift of memory which Swami Vivekananda showed later on in his life, when you could read something and grasp the essence of that book just by flipping the pages. People are surprised how it is possible, whether it is a miracle or whether it is possible. Swamiji says, no, it is no miracle at all. Any child, if he is subject to the technique of meditation, technique which leads to meditation, he can have as powerful memory as I have. There is no miracle in this. It's just training of the mind, training of the willpower, training of the expression of the willpower and all the other faculties of the mind, so that you can master learning in a very short time. That learning can be secular learning, that learning can be spiritual learning, that learning can be anything. The same concentration helps you to realize God, the same concentration helps you to master any subject very quickly. In fact, all the scientists, if you see, they became great, whether it is Newton, just because they were focused on one thing. They would not waste their time and energy they somehow learned the technique of not allowing the mind to be scattered. So when they were after certain things, when Newton saw the apple fall, he went on asking this question. His mind was concentrated, that why does the apple fall? What are the rules? How does it fall? What are the rules that govern? So his mind was also meditating, but it was meditating on the falling of the apple. That is how he discovered gravitation. So the same mind which we use for dhyana, the same mind is used for discoveries. Science also insists on lot of dedication, sincerity and focus on a particular subject, persistent focus. That is what meditation is really about. So there are many ways of meditation. Fortunately, Hindus mastered this art of meditation. There are many paths, there are so many sects. Some people will say you repeat the name of the Lord, which is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu popularized. He said, your minds are very restless. So you just repeat, go on repeating the name, go on repeating the name. That is one way of concentration. Actually, the child or the person who repeats the name is doing nothing but doing dharana of a name. So, japa, which is one technique discovered by our prayer, the regular repetition of Gayatri. Why do they say you have to do Gayatri 108 times? Can we not just do it once? We do japa 108 times, multiples, because it is in the repetition. It is there somehow, our whole Hindu culture is designed in such a way that by repetition you get dharana. But for that dharana, to get that concentration, first you have to reduce using a step known as pratyahara, means not allow distraction. We have so many distractions now. We feel very sad. When a poor child who is born with so much of concentration, just because the parents want some peace, they will give a mobile to that poor child and just destroy his life. Because it is making the child's mind more restless. Physically is already restless, that is because of when it is growing, you need the children to play, to just allow them to be free. You can't expect them to sit quietly. But mentally also, just to keep the child quiet, it will be busy, but it will be totally so much of distraction. That is known as pratyahara, not to allow distraction. That is why we learn music, we do yoga and teach young children yoga, teach young children to listen to good music, good training. In fact, to learn music. Swami Vivekananda was a very good musician because his father felt that without a training in music, classical music good music which requires a lot of concentration. So any art, painting, which focuses the mind on one particular object, one particular notes, the swara of music. So a concentrated person only can learn good music. You ask any restless person to sit 5 days, he will go to the class, he will learn harmonium 5 days and then he will just give it up. Because it's difficult to learn pure music, classical music. It requires a lot of patience. So a child, if he is really good musician, even to become a good cook, Swami Vivekananda said, if one is a good cook, one can focus fully on the cooking, then one can get concentration. That will help in meditation. So doing whatever you do with focus, with concentration, and that training unfortunately cannot be given, I repeat, cannot be given after the child grows. There is a limit after which you are almost, it will take much more effort to concentrate the mind and discipline the mind of a grown-up teenager. It is very easy if the age is between 6 and 8. That is why our people said, this is the right time. Don't wait till the child grows. Then it will be too late. You can't undo the harm that we do by neglecting this mental training, this art of concentration. I repeat, because we used to, when I was in India, we used to have programs they used to say class 5 onwards. I said we don't want college students because they are already gone. There's hardly anything we can do for them. Little bit we can try, but we want children. That is why most of our activities are known as Balak Sangha. When the child is 5, 6, it's just little learning many things, starting to learn, very enthusiastic. If you mold that child, then by the time he is a teenager, he will be very well developed, focused, concentrated, boy or girl. So 5, 6, 7, class 5, 6, 7 is the right age. If that training is missed by circumstances, people will blame many things. Oh, we don't have time, we can't give so much time, earning money is more important. Okay, but then the child will be left at the mercy of society. If luckily gets good teachers in the school who understand the importance, then he is saved. Or luckily is born with good samskaras of the past life. Maybe in the past life he has done a lot of meditation. So no matter how much you disturb him, that person will be calm and very focused. You see the life of Prahlada. Hiranyakashipu was a asura. He tried everything to said don't repeat the name of Hari. But no matter how much he tortured the child, Prahlada continued his focus, his concentration on repeating the name of Hari could not be stopped by his father. That is because of his past life. There are exceptions. Some children don't get spoiled by the circumstances because they are born with good qualities. But that is very rare. For all other children, we are to blame. The parents are to blame. The grown-up people are to blame. Because we did not give that training of concentration, thinking that we will do it. First, it is more important that they goes to good school, get good marks. In that craze for getting good marks, good grades, somehow we neglect the very important thing which is essential for the child when it grows up to survive in this highly competitive world. Even in this secular world, he cannot survive if the mind is not concentrated. So much of importance our Shastras knew. It's not just spirituality. They said without a ashantasya kutas sukham. Bhagavad Gita has a beautiful, Krishna is telling Arjuna, ashanta, a man without peace, a man with a restless mind can never be happy. No matter how much wealth he has, how much facility he has, whatever be the reason, ashantasya, a person whose mind is restless, can never be happy. There is no happiness, real happiness. There may be pleasure, but there is no real happiness. Sukha will not be there. For a person whose mind is always restless. Restlessness is a sign of rajas. Always wanting to do something. Always want to socialize. Always want to go to parties. Nothing wrong in that, but there should be a limit for everything. Most of our festivals, why does a Durga Puja, if you see, 8 hours? Why do you think such a long puja is there? We are supposed to sit. It's not just the pujari who does the puja. Everybody is supposed to participate, and the longer the puja, the more focused, more concentrated his mind becomes. It is for us that the pujari is doing puja. He is focusing, he is having a tremendous discipline. So, I'll conclude, I just covered this topic. It's a very difficult topic, real meditation. So, we will conclude now because we are running short of time. So, the importance of meditation, I hope I was able to express a few thoughts which at least will make us think seriously. There are many things which are available. Very good things. Swamiji's Raj Yoga is there. You can read it. It's a very good text written for Western people, but Indians who are very scientific in their approach also will benefit a lot. It's one of the best books on meditation, Swami Vivekananda's Raj Yoga. They're in Bengali or in English. It will tell us the importance of meditation and how does Patanjali teach us to meditate. And that will not only make our lives, but the lives of our innocent children happy, and they will bless us more than they will bless us if you had left them a lot of money. because money cannot buy this peace, money cannot buy the make a person meditate or concentrate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.